anything, so when the generator goes to read it, it doesn't get confused and say dash out loud. So let's see what it's added some more. It's got more detail in here and it's got the different practices. Okay, so this won't be very long, and that's fine. I'll make it short with it. But what I'm going to, so it has here to like the video, subscribe. Okay, perfect. Now you can always go and add more back and forth, have the conversation with your chat or however you're making your script, but I'm going to take it as is for this, for the sample, without getting too much into it. So we'll start with the title. I'm just going to copy the title here and put it back into our syllabi here. And then that title, you can always change at any point. It just will label it in your syllabi as the title for this video. I think this is I'm gonna do part two because I'm pretty sure I've already made a video with the same concept or a very similar name. Now, I always get rid of the quotation marks or the quotation marks, the yeah, like the quote marks, just because unless it's you're talking and you're talking about a story in third person, you probably don't need those. And then I go in here and I start pasting it. And then wherever I have those dashes, because I know chat likes to add dashes, I will actually add pauses. So right here, what I did is in the bottom here, or the top above the box where I paste, you've got add pauses and you've got anywhere from half a second to 3 seconds. And you can add any combination of them. And then you'll see when you add it, right here, it says that's a shortcut. So just putting pause and then the time. So you can always manually write it out as well, but that's how the syllabi system is acknowledging and tracking when you're adding pauses into the speaking part. So I'm going to do here, and then I'm going to add another pause at the end of this. And I'm going to get rid of all these extra dots again, and then just add another pause here. So that is what I'm finding is just my best practice as getting rid of anything like that. And then put another pause here. So that is the intro. And then so I'm pretty much kind of rereading it as I go and copy and paste. And then this way you can decide if you want to edit anything here, right? So am I broken? Okay, what if I told you, and then again, getting rid of all those extra dots or whatever. And then I always add extra space after each of the periods because I like the way that that reads. And there. And then you can always, of course, edit it and lay it out any way that you want. I'm going to get rid of this one because sometimes when it has short sentences, it also doesn't like it. I'm like, I really try to limit the actual amount of like question marks, periods, any of those types of formats because I have seen different weirdness and issues with all of them. Okay, and I'm kind of going back and forth, so you may not be able to see what I'm doing. You can just see my chat. Sorry. Okay, teaching flow. Okay, I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to go back to the... Too bad I can't show two different screens at the same time easily. Okay. There you go. So this is now where I've been cutting and pasting. So when I was talking about the space, the adding the time, here at the top here you'll see the add pause. And then that, when I click on it, is then adding pauses here. So that one was 1 second. This one was half a second. And it has all of them till the 3 seconds, as I was mentioning before. And then you can just add those pauses. And then I'm just deleting excess grammar, editing, any of those dashes. So again, here as I go into this sentence, I will space it so I can make another pause between the sentences, and then I'm going to get rid of that dash. And if you want to have a space, it's just best to add a pause versus any of those dashes whenever you're using them, because we've brought this up numerous times about how the different AI software will misread these type of dashes, and each of them are different. So they're not all created the same way. And I'm just going to get rid of those and okay. put this here. So this will be the most time consuming is me legitimately going through cutting, pasting, and then editing and making sure I like the wording of how everything sounds, as well as getting rid of any of the extra grammar pieces. Do you have anything to add to that, Mike, on when we've been doing this and what you've been doing on this while I'm cutting and pasting here?
Yeah, I'm still trying live streams of Facebook. I'm getting an error message, so it's fun. Um, Really just a matter of practicing script writing, whether or not you're writing it yourself or getting AI to generate it, and then editing it and making sure it sounds factual. I know I've been reviewing some YouTube videos for some of my students, and I'm like, okay, this sounds like it's completely AI generated. Would you actually speak like you can? I I know when it comes to creating scripts for your videos, AI is a tool. It will pump out a lot of stuff. But if it doesn't have enough resources, if you haven't actually explained what you do, the message you're trying to articulate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, like it will just throw in a bunch of filler words and you're going to have to rewrite everything unless you want it to completely sound auto-generated. So it's tough. I know people who like writing all their own scripts and they handwrite everything and then they put them into these video generate AI video generating softwares just because it's so much quicker to pump out content because some people are pumping out like one or two videos per week, and other people are doing multiple videos per day, and then they're running ads to their courses or their service-based businesses, or like that's what I'm working on right now is all these um, AI videos of our employees to run ads to, right? But then it's like, okay, when you anyway, practice makes perfect is all I'm going to say. This stuff can get really super frustrating. It's play with it, test it, output it, and then you know, see if it sounds natural. See if it sounds accurate. See if Julie knows about this, the pausing. I think this is the only software you have to put these she's put as you can see what she's doing right now is she's putting pauses between all the sentences just to slow down the AI voice. The software I was showing the last 3 weeks, which is HeyGen, we don't have to put these pauses in because it can follow spaces. So if you have a space, if you have a space between all of your sentences, that's a pretty good buffer on the HeyGen system. Um, I'm currently like, as I said, there's a ton of these AI video softwares. Each of them is going to be a little bit different. It's really, we're showing you examples of what we're doing with our channels just to get you comfortable with the fact that if you're going to use AI software to make your videos, you're going to have to play with it. It's going to take if you're not playing with it every day, it's going to take you months to figure all this stuff out. And we've been playing with this one specifically since January, so we're like 9 months in, right? So, and there's been quirks the whole time. They release software updates every single month, and things change. And you're like, hey, this feature set's better now, and now this other one's worse. So it's just a matter of, and we're doing very basic stuff with this particular tool, Syllabi.io, because you can set it up to um, do mass video creation. It will post right to all your social medias. I don't do that. I know a lot of people do it, but what I really want to do is put the scripts in, have the videos generated, and then I go through like the ones I make, I go through them all because I'm manually posting to. I've got my own process where I um label the video the way I want YouTube to read the video to get metadata. I manually I upload it to YouTube and then we're just using repurpose to to push everything out. Where this tool has that auto publishing built in. However, I don't want to just make it generate a bunch of videos without doing quality control before uploading. But then there's other people who don't care about quality control. They just want mass videos uploaded to their YouTube because that's how they're gaming YouTube. They're posting a lot of stuff and then sending organic traffic to their YouTube, and then they're using the YouTube analytics to figure out if the audience likes their video or not. So there's so many different ways to use a tool like this, but you only learn all this stuff once you get started. And I know Julie's been frustrated a little bit with this, but I'm like, you're either making videos yourself, throwing them in a video editor and editing them and adding voiceovers, except and transitions and doing all that stuff manually yourself, or you're going to be using a tool like this to handle all that for you, and then you're either going to be happy with the results or you're not going to be happy with the results.
And well, I was going to say with the timing and stuff, I try to keep kind of as you can. I'm trying to keep consistency between timings, where I have the title of a specific theme and then keeping that. But sometimes it is difficult. Like the more you practice with it, more you can kind of see how the pauses work. And it does do pauses even if you don't put this in. But there was consistency before or issues before where a lot of people had that some of them they wanted bigger spaces and you couldn't tell it. Even if you put more actual physical spaces between your words, the system wasn't reading that. So I believe that this putting these adding pauses was their solution to it not reading the pauses properly. So if you wanted to make sure it actually took a breath or a pause, because sometimes when I still roll it out, it reads really quickly. Like I think this sentence here would read very, very quickly if I don't put a pause in between. And then you're like suddenly you'll be hearing a sentence that just goes faster than the rest of the sentences, right? My only thing that I don't like is once you've generated them, you can't really regenerate any of this. You can edit if you have the closed captionings come up, you can edit those, but you can't necessarily edit the words that the AI is saying. So if the AI says dot, dash, or talks a sentence too quickly, you have to redo the entire video. So that means like you're using up here in the top, you might see that I have like 500 credits, which is 38 minutes of video. Each time you run it, it takes away those minutes. So if there's some major problem that you literally just used your minutes and you have to redo the entire minutes, and it just takes it away from it. You can't really edit it. Sometimes you can take some of the minutes away to do some of the editing. You just can't change the words, which or the voice or any of that, which has been kind of annoying for myself because sometimes you're like, I don't like the way this sounded after it came out. And the only way to redo it is redoing the entire video, which at this point is where that's just the limitations we have on that.
And
Okay.
we have a new student who joined us. Darlene's in the room.
Okay. Do you want to, why don't I, while I'm cutting and pasting, why don't you introduce Darlene?
Good morning, Darlene. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm good. Welcome to the club.
I've been trying to get in, but I couldn't figure out where to go.
Well, I've learned that I can only put the Zoom link in the comments of any post because as soon as you put it in the actual Facebook posting, Facebook doesn't like that. So, and I don't think you're on my email list yet. So, welcome. Since you're brand new, would you like to introduce yourself?
Darlene Greer. Um, I'm co-owner with Get Desky. Some of y'all probably know Jennifer Bennett, um, but I don't know. I do the accounting part.
Okay. Because I know we're just doing an exam. Obviously, this is YouTube University, and our whole goal is to inspire business owners, content creators to start getting videos created for their social media accounts, including YouTube, so they can be discovered through regular content creation. Both we've met. Both myself and my wife are both monetized YouTubers, so we've got multiple accounts that have over 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So we're just demonstrating one of the tools and techniques that helped us achieve that in 2024. And but in 2025 now it's fantastic because we've got all these AI video generating tools that
Mhm.
which shorten the time of making content, regardless if you're making instructional videos or whatever you're doing. They're tools to help you make content quicker, but then of course, as with all software, there's always quirks and things that and error messages and things that don't work as well as you expect them to do. And then there's always software updates every single week. So sometimes that stuff gets frustrating and we're like, hey, we're making videos with this regardless if it's throwing us error messages or not. So the last the last couple of weeks we've been going over generating videos with HeyGen, which will make like an AI copy of yourself or any of your employees. So I've been using that for some of our ads that we're about to run on YouTube. But this one's kind of fun because it makes cartoon movies and it's really good for making shorts.
I have used videos, so I like NVIDIA.
I
I use
used to use that
NVIDIA.
a lot. So I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to go over. But when I was using InVideo, I found all it used was stock images and videos, which was great for my real estate channel. I've got a Dubai real
Mhm.
estate channel, so it's all stock images and videos on that channel. And then when it comes to, I wanted to clone myself because I know how challenging it is to always have perfect lighting and reflection and makeup and wardrobe when you're shooting in-person videos. So there's a bunch of different tools out there. We just want to inspire you and empower you to actually come up with video ideas, start writing out scripts for those videos, and either empower you to get in front of the camera yourself every single week and record videos or use these tools to generate videos for your business and remind remind everyone why you're in business, right? Because of course sometimes in business we're super busy and other times there's dead spots and it's cut we get the we get the lulls in business because we're not promoting enough. So
Yeah, I hear you. But I do a
I've been
lot of it.
self-employed for
I like
20 years and I'm like there's always lulls and you're like what did I do wrong? Oh, I took that week off. I should have been. But we didn't have these AI video generators a couple of years ago. So now what's trying to, the workflow is okay, always be working on, you're not always in the mood to make videos or edit videos or post them, but you should be in the mood to, come up with ideas and write scripts out, even if you're not going to use those scripts for a couple of months. I know we've had a couple of students up here in the past and like, how can you make all these ideas? And I'm like, you're always in your normal day-to-day thing, whether it's laundry or cleaning or going out for a walk or whatever you're doing, you're always getting these ideas throughout the day of how you can promote your business, your new product, or your new book. And all those ideas just need to be voice notes recorded on your phone or written down so you can just keep looking at those wonderful light bulb moments you get and say, hey, I got all these great ideas for promoting myself. Now how do I actually take these ideas and get them posted on the internet or made into a video and start promoting?
yes. I like Celebi. He's a good friend of ours.
Yeah, this is what we're using right now. So I've got a love-hate relationship with Austin because I was making my I just met him in person in Dallas, Texas in May. So a couple of months ago in May when I spent the whole month in Texas and I visited your daughter and your granddaughter.
You did.
Yeah, we were in College Station after we were in Dallas like May 1st, 2nd. So
Oh, I didn't know y'all came to town.
I don't think Jennifer believed me I was coming to town and I'm like, "Hey, I'm College State." She suggested bowling, so we went bowling.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Can I make
Well,
a sorry,
go ahead.
sorry to interrupt. Nice to meet you, Darlene. I'm glad you joined us. So I
Thank you.
wanted to make a comment. Kimberly said, "Hey Jen crashed on her this week." Did you have any issues with Hey Jen this week, Mike?
Agent's been crashing on me every week for 3 weeks, so that's why we're using Syllabi right now.
There you go.
And when,
There you
and
go.
when I was in Google Gemini this morning, and it told me 5 videos in a row. It couldn't generate the video, so I was like, "What are we teaching this morning? Syllabi's working. Let's do that." I think what's
Okay.
happening
Okay.
is
Well, I wanted to quickly.
I think what's happening is there's so many people generating videos. The servers can't keep up.
You know that's quite possible that there's so much demand that it's actually causing issues on the system, especially if it's not built for the demand that's actually happening right now, which is
And
quite
it depends,
possible,
and it
right?
depends on your price plan, because this Syllabi account is just the base one, right? We just like to
Yeah.
all these AI video generating softwares cost money. So I'm not telling you to go into debt making this stuff. It's just like play with one, see if you like it. There's a bunch. We've mentioned NVIDIA, we've mentioned Syllabi, I mentioned HeyGen, and we've been using Gemini. So we've been using 4 different video generation softwares. They all cost money. Some have radical, like I think Google the top plan is like $200 a month. I'm not on the $200 a month plan. I just think that if you're on some of the upper plans, you get much better results. But I just watch what other people do. Um, there's a lot of people in the space making videos every single day. If you follow anybody in the AI world, whether it's Austin Armstrong who makes this software, or Jeff J. Hunter, or there's a ton of people making videos. Molly Mahoney, there's a ton of people making videos every single day, and I know they're all on the upper price plans of all these systems, and maybe the results may vary. So that's why we're teaching you to have the patience to make your ideas, get your scripts written, and play with the softwares. And I think I was using something the other night at like 11 p.m. Eastern, and it stopped working. And then I sent the guy a DM. He's like, shouldn't you be in bed? It's 11 p.m. Eastern." And I'm like, does it matter if I'm making my videos or if I had a VA making the videos? These platforms should be available 24/7, other than once a month server maintenance or something like that. So the results are going to be vary no matter what software you use. So, okay.
Sorry, Mike's cutting out a little bit. So I guess I'll jump back in. But okay. So I've copied and pasted from chat the suggestion for this video that chat is helping me make. And then I wanted to point out one of the things that I did here, just so if you do decide to use this and you like the software, you'll notice I actually try to more so put the pauses right after whatever I want to have a pause from. Here, there's a few in the middle of the sentence, but the reason I prefer to do it this way, just for my own best practice, is that way if you miss a space between these little brackets and the words before or after, it's going to read it versus putting a pause. So you have to make sure you have your spaces around the pause. So there'll be a space before the bracket and after, because if it touches those words, it's going to read it as a word. It's not going to actually bring in the pause, because I might have done that before. So that would be why often I actually put them right after the sentence or after the part. And then I'll even go through and just make sure I've got the spaces on both sides of the pause so we don't have any issues with that. Oh, I missed one right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna add this last one here. I think I've got most of them. If I'm missing a pause, I'm not too worried. This is more for an example, and if it works out great, I'll post it to my YouTube. So we've got that on. We put in all these different breaks. Especially I put longer ones for areas that I want to emphasize or give more space between the ideas. And then when I've written enough with my chat that chat will cue at the end to subscribe. I think I had it here to like, subscribe, share. You can add that into your content before, after, whatever kind of works for you. Best practice is the call to action. So now that I've put the script in, the advanced options, the only option I really use down here is just making sure I disable any sound effects. If you are using Syllabi, you'll probably want this because what will happen is between the images, since these are not actual cartoon images that move, they're just images from one picture to another, it will auto have sounds between the images. So this may be the first thing you want to do is disable it so it doesn't make any page turning or any sounds between the images. So that one I've turned off. And then the only other thing here would be if you want to change the color of your subtitle. So here on my water print, you'll see I'm going to keep it with that orange, that bright orange yellow color. But here's where you change the color. And this is also where you can change position. So if I wanted the subtitles at the top, I can hit up. I can hit the middle one here if I want it right in the middle of the picture or if I want it at the bottom. Let's do it in the middle today to change it up and we'll see how that works. So those are really the only ones I do. And then if the visual effects, you can switch the way it comes in. You can slide the words in. I don't normally do too much change on that. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't matter. It is estimating right now, if I go back to the script, it is estimating that this video is right here 7 minutes and 20 and 19 seconds long. I don't think it's going to come in that long. It usually always over and estimates the time. So when we process it here, which we'll do now, we'll see how long it actually takes. So I'm going to hit at the bottom here. You'll see this generate preview on the bottom right with this little lady's head. So I'm just going to hit generate. And then what is nice, this will auto give me some ideas. So you can screenshot them or you can mark them down if you decide you wanted to go back to chat or another idea or even come up with some ideas yourself. These are some topics it's giving based on what I just made. So the hidden signs you're having a mental breakdown. There you go. There's a good one. Why your life feels meaningless right now. So it's just giving me ideas based on the video that I made. And then while I'm waiting for this to process, it'll just come back up to ones that we have made before, and you'll see here in the top, it's rendering it, and it can take a couple of minutes to render. So we'll just kind of wait, and then we can see how it turned out.
Have you, so in before you went to this screen, it had given you all those video topic suggestions, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the reason Syllaby's showing you those video topic suggestions is, of course, they want you to click on one of those suggestions, and this software, Syllaby, will actually auto-generate you similar scripts. They charge you credits for that. So I know one of the Facebook groups I'm in the Syllabi Facebook group, and I can just see all the tech support questions their users are asking because, of course, people just start using the software and start clicking on everything and then don't realize that everything they click on, whether it's script suggestion, video generation, et cetera, it's all using credits. So just to be in mind that Julie showed you that the estimate was like 7 minutes for the videos. That may or may not be accurate, but of course, the longer the videos are, the more credits you use. Um, she's using ChatGPT to generate. She's trained ChatGPT in her voice and what she wants her videos to, what her voice is, what her messaging is, et cetera, et cetera. So, she's just copying and pasting scripts right out of ChatGPT into Syllabi. But you can use Syllabi to have you used Syllabi to generate any of your scripts, Julie, or?
No, I have not actually used Syllabi because I just went to chat and took the
Oh,
ideas to chat.
that's fine.
And my thought is if I'm already got chat, I can just take the ideas to chat and see what chat thinks about these ideas and what can be resonated without having to use another system. But that was just because I didn't want to spend my credits on the idea from Syllabi.
That's fine. That's fair because any person you're watching who's using AI to generate, scripts or resumes or newsletter articles or magazine articles or whatever copywriting that they're coming up with, you might see them using ChatGPT or Manus or Grok or Claude or Google's Note. There's all these different AI chatbots that will generate scripts for you. Not that any are better than others. You have to train them in with your voice, you can upload samples of previous things you've written and actually create custom GPTs. We haven't covered any of that stuff because it kind of it gets into advanced territory and people get confused. So just like you can use any chatbot to generate your scripts, or you can use the one built into Syllabi. It's whatever you prefer. But that's why it's coming up with those suggestions, and Julie pointed something out good that every time I generate something, I always take their suggestions and go type it into one of the different chatbots I use just to see what type of scripts are going to be made based on those titles that it's recommending, just to give myself some more creative uh alternative ideas because I'm like, oh hey, that sounds really good. I wonder how we can expand on that topic. So
Jeff has joined us. Hi, Jeff.
good morning, Jeff. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I led meditation this morning, so now I gotta make coffee and I have beans, so we're doing
That looks, I don't know what you're holding, but that looks terrifying.
it's a grinder. It's a hand grinder
Oh,
because of course I'm in an RV, so I don't know when I'm not going to have power. And I found that you could put the drill to it instead of hand cranking it,
oh my.
and it makes things a lot easier. A lot
I,
easier.
I wonder if you should do that with our hand cranking one we have sitting, our backup
Uh,
one.
well, we Jeff, we've been living off a stockpile. We stockpiled so much stuff during COVID. It was all ground coffee, so that's what we're living off right now. So,
Yeah, yeah. When I accidentally ordered beans instead. I ordered my normal mushroom coffee,
hmm
but I ordered the beans and I didn't know they had beans because that was weird. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me fix that.
it's
And
literally why we got a non-powered grinder, and it's sitting right next to the coffee beans. But it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go through all this ground coffee first, and then I'll work on the beans because
mm-hmm,
it'd be fresh ground once I grind them, right? So there's no point grinding
right,
them now and then letting them go stale. So, but that looks
correct.
cool. I was like, hey, Jeff showed up with an amazing looking power tool.
And it's funny because I have a whole story about me not being able to use power tools, and then I figured out that I could do this, which was I thought was a genius because I'm like,
Well,
wait a
I can
second,
use
I can hook
power
this.
tools. My challenge is troubleshooting stuff in the RV and not getting electrocuted when I think all power sources are disconnected. But then I'm like, oh
Oh
wait,
yes,
there's shore power, there's battery power, and there's solar panels, and I have to turn
yeah,
all.
you're and you can't.
You can, you
You
just have to
just can't.
remember because our fridge stopped working in Delaware and then it stopped working in Boston and we were just in Boston. I'm like, what is going this thing's a year old. What's going on
Uh-huh.
with this fridge? And I'm like, oh, there's three or four ways it can stop working, but they don't tell you
Hmm.
that. And it's different than my propane fridge because it's fully electric. So
Oh wow, yeah, my
yeah.
propane.
Oh, I know.
I
Don't get me started. I love my propane fridge, but I sold that trailer.
I am working right now. My refrigerator. I had to actually cut the frame to my door to get my refrigerator in, but it's here. It's just not hooked up yet, um, because I don't have my batteries hooked up because I couldn't hook up the solar until I finished the roof. And so today is I'm finishing my roof, and hopefully next weekend I'm going to get my solar put in 2 weeks because I'll be gone all week. Um,
Where's your current home base?
I'm currently in Detroit. I'm
Oh,
in
you're
Detroit.
Detroit. Oh, wow. We're literally rolling through Detroit in a week and a bit, something like that. We're shooting right down. We're going Toronto, Niagara on the way, Toronto, Niagara Falls, and then we're gonna cut through Detroit or Sarnia. We gotta cut through that area to go to Chicago.
Okay. Let me know when you're coming. I will.
I didn't know where you were. I
Yeah,
thought it was Michigan. I thought it was Michigan.
yeah. I'm in Detroit, and I'm like 10 minutes from the airport. I'm right outside. I'm right outside Detroit. I'm one of the border cities.
Okay.
So like,
I've never been there. I just, I heard the shooting from Windsor
you know what?
like a
I
decade
was
ago. Like a decade ago. The huge,
right,
yeah, monolithic buildings, right, right on the lake
right,
or river or
right.
whatever. So,
They're moving. They're moving about a mile and a half.
oh,
It's a big
okay.
deal. They're
It
moving
was
to the
just
new
a
Hudson.
joke. It was just a joke when I was with my
I
previous
know.
company. They're like, "Hey, you can hear the shootings from across the river," and I'm like, "Okay, this is weird." But when you're from Western Canada and then you go visit Toronto or Windsor, you don't realize how close the American cities are. So,
Yeah. No, what's really funny is when you Detroit is on like the top of all the travel blogs. It's one of the top cities to travel to right now.
oh,
And
interesting. Okay.
yeah,
Have you ever
so it got crazy. Like they cleaned it up. It's
Oh,
really
okay. I literally never had the pleasure, and then I'm like, hey, my next book's released October 7th, 8th in Chicago, and I was
okay.
like, oh yeah, I didn't know it was coming out that week, and I was like, well, I guess I need to like drop by for the book launch. So
Yeah, you know, maybe.
if I'm going to be, it's the shortest way for me to take my RV into warranty repair in Alberta, Canada. I could drive across Canada or I can cut through the Great Lakes. So I'm like, hey, I'll cut through the
Yeah.
Great Lakes. So
Although
anyway,
taking the camper through Chicago, oh my goodness.
no, well, it's not really Chicago. It's in Naperville. And our friend David, who's on this call, he's in Hammond, Indiana. So we just park in front of his house. And then I just avoid all the toll highways when I cut through Chicago because the whole state of Illinois is literally just warnings of toll highways. It's the weirdest state I've
Yeah,
ever been in.
I
the
don't know.
problem with
Is it worse than New Jersey? I don't know, Mike. I don't know. Toll
New Jersey
everywhere.
doesn't warn you every single minute there's toll highways. That is the state of Illinois. This is
Well, okay, so the video uploaded. So I wanted
yeah.
to quickly show you guys. So it estimated 7 minutes and what was it, 20 seconds ish, but it actually came in at 5 minutes and 34 seconds and for 0.48 of a second. So here, why don't we see, because then we can see how the spacing went, so you can kind of have an idea. And then here on the right, it does show the words and the spacing on that would be the script that I submitted to it. So let's take a quick
so
moment.
at this point, what can you edit it? Can you just edit out the photos and the background images or
Okay, if we go to edit video here, so you can, so it does give you these options where you can add motion. As you can see here right in the middle, it says add motion. Adding motion to images is 10 credits per image. So you can add more of a cartoon to any of these images, but of course you're using more credits if you decide to do that on the video. And then here it shows you the subtitles. So this, I can actually go in there and edit that. But again, if you save anything like that, it will cost you 3 credits. If you do edit anything like that, they will take credits. When I go to the images, so for example, this first image here, if I wanted to edit it, when you come to this end, it's showing you why it prompted this image on syllabi. So the motion prompt option, so you can go in there and change it if you wanted. So it explains like wide establishing shot of a crumbling stone archway is, and then you can see how it described it. And then that's what it imaged prompted from that. If you wanted to, you could get more specific and add motion here and use the credits or adapt it. You do get I believe, three image changes without any credits. So if I wanted, right up here, you'll see upload media. So this would be if you have an image you wanted to use already, or one from a different video, or a different image in the same video, you can save them and put them in again. So if there's an image that you really like that's come up in the image or came up through this process, you could then save it and then upload it again if you wanted it to repeat. If you wanted a brand new image, so here you'll see 0 of 3 free image regenerations, 1 credits each after. So you get 3 for free that you could regenerate to something else. If you don't change the prompt, it's going to still look something like what it already brought up. Because you'll see here the image prompt here. So if you wanted it different completely, you would have to edit that. And that again, you could do something that like that with chat if you wanted to, or just edit it yourself. And then if I wanted a new picture, I can just generate it and then it will give me a new one. Sometimes they're better, sometimes they're not. Depends. You're like, oh, this is even more off. I maybe needed to change the image prompt. Then there is some stock videos. So there is videos and stuff you can go. I haven't really used this. Have you used this end, Mike? The stock videos. The asset library be like stuff you have already, it's got in the background. But I haven't really used any of these. I mainly have just kind of stayed with either adding emotion, uploading or changing a picture that I might have already had, or having it generate something new. Those are the ones I've more so
I
used.
I I what I find with any of these cartoon ones, it doesn't really. If you're going to be spending all, if you're a consultant and you're making these videos for customers, you might end up getting more detailed with this and uploading specifics to their brand or their imaging or their colors. But I think people just need videos created and they just need they need eye-catching stuff to get some, likes and shares on social media.
Exactly, exactly. So if your picture's completely off, this is how you edit it, right? You can go in, you can put in a different one from later on in your picture or something else you personally have, or you can change it and have it regenerate, right? So that you can easily do. So yes, right here is where the subtitles are. This is where you can edit the subtitles. So if you don't like how it's showing up, but you cannot change the voice, like I said. So any of the sound, any of the background things with the sound cannot be generated, changed, or edited. You can edit the pictures and you can edit the subtitles. Though those things you can change. And that is just my experience of I don't know if you can get a bigger package and have more ability to do it, but if you don't like the way it sounds or you don't like the voice or it's messed up something, even if you change the subtitle but it says it the wrong way, the only way to fix it is to redo the video and edit that in the script and then regenerate it. Did you want me to play this to see what this turned out like?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I will do, let's go there. And I'm
You
gonna,
shared the audio.
I did. So
Okay.
oops. Oh, now I'm not sharing anything. Okay, let's go back here. Oops. Okay, it says share sound. Okay. I don't think it likes the full screen, but that's fine. Let's just go. Oh, let's see.
Have you ever felt like you're falling apart?
Can you see that?
No.
Okay, it didn't share.
Like everything you
Ah. Help, I'm stuck. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, just talk amongst yourself. Give me.
Hi, Jeanette. How are you doing?
Doing okay.
I would have
Yeah,
addressed you
my
this morning, but I was having tech issues, and I'm like, my Starlink's on, nothing's working. I'm tethered to my cell phone, so I was like, yay. I've seen your post. You've been busy getting ready for the fall.
yeah, just been getting the yard ready and it feels really good. I'm pretty OCD, so I need to have things in order. So
Oh,
I'm
I get it.
feeling
We're literally parked at my parents' house in Nova Scotia, cleaning and fix. I've so far behind this week cleaning and fixing stuff on the RV because we got to haul back to Alberta for October 13th, and we've got what 5, 6 cities to hit before we get back. So,
so where are you staying in Alberta, in Calgary?
my brother-in-law lives there. He still has a house there,
Okay.
so we'll go dump the RV off in Airdrie, and then we'll hang out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then we got to figure out where we're going to park for the winter. So we'll see if we can get we're in Canada, we'll see if we can get it back across the border to the US, or if we have to go to Vancouver or come back out to Nova Scotia. I got renters in my house, so that's not an option. Oh, and I gotta go clean out my garage, so I'll be busy when I'm in Alberta. Plus clients requesting me. This is the challenge right now, is I can push off my customers for like 5 months, 6 months, and have my employees go to do the work. And then I've got customers like, when are you coming back? I'm like, October 15th to the 31st. If you want Mike to be in person, you got a 2 week window. So
Well, maybe I can meet up with you guys in person when you're
yeah,
here.
no, it was funny because when I was in Tyson's Corner, Virginia for an AI conference a couple weeks ago, I had somebody who told me she knew me from Facebook, and then she dropped your name. So I'm not sure if she's talking about the same Jeanette, but she's like, "Hey, you know Jeanette?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know a ton of people on Facebook." So,
Everybody knows everybody. It's like the 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right? We're all really related to each other. We all know each other.
but she was
Okay.
actually, go ahead. Did you get it working?
I think so. I think as soon as I click on it, it's going to play. So let's see how this turned out and how it sounds. So you guys, we all can.
Have you ever felt like you're falling apart? Like everything you thought you were is crumbling? Maybe your relationships are shifting, your job feels empty, or your emotions rise like storms you can't control. And in the middle of it all, you wonder, am I broken? But what if I told you? You're not broken at all. You're awakening. And everything that feels like it's falling away is actually clearing space for who you are becoming. Teaching flow. The illusion of brokenness. When the soul begins to awaken, the old structures of life, the habits, beliefs, and even identities we've carried, can no longer hold. The mind interprets this collapse as something is wrong with me. We label it brokenness. But in truth, it's a sacred process. It's the shedding of what no longer fits the vibration of your soul. Think of a seed. To the seed, cracking open feels like destruction. If you could ask it, it might say, I'm breaking apart. But to the gardener, and to the soul, that cracking open is the very beginning of life. What looks like breaking down is actually breaking through. This is why so many people confuse awakening with dysfunction. But the reality is, the parts of you that were never truly you are dissolving, so that your essence can finally breathe. Why awakening feels so intense. Awakening asks you to feel deeply, to release the numbness, to face truths that were hidden, to step out of autopilot and meet your life with presence. And that can feel overwhelming. Emotions rise that you've carried for years. People in your life may not understand the changes you're going through. What once felt safe suddenly feels restrictive. It's not a punishment. It's an initiation. Your body, your mind, your spirit are recalibrating to a higher frequency. The nervous system adjusts, the heart opens, the soul begins to lead. That takes both courage and surrender. Think of it like tuning a musical instrument. The strings may feel tense and pulled, but only so the instrument can resonate clearly. In the same way, you are being tuned to the vibration of your truth. The reframe. You're not losing yourself. You're meeting yourself for the very first time. Every moment of breakdown, the tears, the exhaustion, the questions, is a doorway. A doorway to deeper truth, to more freedom, to the remembrance of who you really are. This is why awakening can feel so raw. Because you are being stripped of illusions. And once illusions fall, only truth remains. The cracks you see in yourself aren't flaws. They are openings. They are the places where your light is breaking through. The same way sunlight filters through clouds after a storm, your soul begins to shine through the spaces where the old has dissolved. So instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" begin asking, "What is being born in me?" That question changes everything. Mini practice. Let's take a moment together. Wherever you are, close your eyes if you can. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Feel your breath moving between them. Inhale deeply through the nose and exhale gently through the mouth, as if you're releasing a weight you've been carrying. Say softly to yourself, "I am not broken. I am awakening." Let the words settle in your body. Feel them as truth. Even if just a flicker of relief rises, that flicker is your soul reminding you, you are whole. You are expanding. This is the real you awakening. So the next time life feels too heavy, remember this: you are not broken. You are awakening into your light. Every challenge is shaping you. Every release is freeing you. Every shift is guiding you back home to yourself. If this message resonates with you, stay connected here. I share practices, teachings, and guidance to help you walk your awakening path with more ease and clarity. Like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this reminder today. And in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. What part of your awakening journey has felt like breaking, but is really opening? You are not broken. You are awakening, and your light is only just beginning to shine. Have you ever felt like you're falling apart?
And that is the video that I didn't really read. I didn't read as we were cutting and pasting. I'm just gonna say I was editing it as we posted that up. But obviously I've been dealing with my chat. My chat knows what I wanna say.
Exactly. No, I was like, why does that feel like a perfect message for me this week? Come on. Anyway, um, how did you find the pausing though? Like, I found maybe the pause in certain spots was maybe like a second too long, but it was better than being read too fast.
Well, there is one part where it said the sentence really quick as well, which you could kind
Okay.
of tell, like just kind of in one part. So it is like at the end, I'm like, okay, I maybe could have cut down that 1 second in between, but I know I was trying to pause it and slow it down at the end, right? So this is the playing around with the pausing, and the more practice you have on it, the more you can kind of fine tune how
But
you
the
want.
mo one most important thing, as we know with videos, is there's captions. I think the statistics right now is that like 85% of videos are watched with the audio off. Captions are super important, and this system adds them automatically. Um, when I was
Well, one thing I
showing,
want
go ahead.
One thing I want to say about the pauses is they do make it easier because I know we spoke and went over the remix option. So once you post a video, you can easily make it into shorts on YouTube. And so the pauses make it easier to then go and do clips because you've got a little bit more space where you can hit
Exactly.
the mix and stuff. So it's not necessarily bad to have some of the longer pauses between different themes on your video, especially if you do want to go back and make shorts out of it, right?
No, exactly. And I understand, like, this, what I was just saying is slower is always better than too fast. And then captions are 100% required. Our friend Roxy in Boston, she's like, you don't understand how huge the impact of having the words on the screen are, especially for anybody who needs them for accessibility, right? Because if a voice is not clear or it's a heavy accent, you don't, it's really hard to follow along. And we're suggesting all of our clients have captions on everything going forward, just because we know that once the captions are there, um, you're gonna just have more impact with the video. More people are gonna watch it. More the video is gonna be actually watched in its entirety. Where if you don't have captions, they're probably gonna swipe through 5, 10 seconds in, especially if they don't like the pitch of the voice, the speed of the voice, all that fun stuff. So captions are super important. Anyway, I have a call I have to go do in Boston with somebody who just got referred to us because she's been hacked. We're at like just about 10 after the hour right now. Does anybody have any questions for us before we shut it down and see you next week? And I'll try to have something. It's another example. I've been asked to use two other pieces of software to demonstrate making YouTube video scripts from. And I haven't played with them enough this week because they're kind of technical, because you can drag in a lot of other resources and it will actually make you scripts based on all the other past content you've made. But I haven't tested them enough yet to do a demonstration of them. So I was hoping to do it this week. It'll probably be next week, but I'll give you a heads up on what we're gonna I was gonna show you. I was gonna show you Google Gemini video this morning, and I tested it for an hour, and it just kept throwing me error messages, telling me it couldn't generate any videos for me this morning, and I'm like, okay, last minute, we're gonna go back into Syllabi. So, thank you
I
all
have
for
a
showing up.
question.
Go ahead.
I want to know when you do your script and what do you use? Chat GPT. Can you tell it you're using Syllabi and it will automatically put the pauses in there?
I did try that. It's not mine's not smart enough. You have to train it to know how to read the pauses. So you could definitely do that and be like, okay, in syllabi, I need pauses, and then like give the example of how it shows up with the square brackets and the pause, right? And say it can do the half second, the one, two, three, and you can teach it to do that, but it will not know it automatically because I
Yeah,
did play around with
you
that.
would have to upload previous examples just so it knows what the previous scripts are like. It's similar to I know right now if you see like video ads on the internet where it's using somebody's face, there's a lot of people writing there's this new system. Google made their own video generation system, which I find it's super technical because you have to describe every single every single scene. You have to describe camera, background, lighting, et cetera, et cetera. So it's super powerful to use, but unless you're used to writing your script, including what's going on in the video scene, you have to train the AI and give it previous examples of how to write scripts and any particulars for any of those video generation things. But that'd be an interesting test this week if we could go and take any of the previous um, syllabi scripts that we've generated and put them into ChatGPT and then see if it could replicate those. I know it might save a little bit of time if we put in a second of spacing after every sentence.
Well, okay. The only reason I didn't do this, and my justification is because I cannot get chat to stop putting dashes and all those extra characters. Even though I have asked multiple times to not do that on the videos, I cannot get chat to make it without putting
You know,
those
it,
in. So I've literally made it the extra step to go in and go and put those spaces because then it forces me to cut and paste and look at the characters and if I need to replace any of those.
it's, I think I learned that at my last AI conference in Virginia the other week was that no matter what you tell it not to do, it's still going to do. So I think a lot of people are getting frustrated, and that's why they're literally taking their prompts, seeing what the ChatGPT output is versus Manus versus Claude versus Grok versus all the other ones to see which chatbots are actually listening to your instructions.
Well, and it's weird because there's certain things that I've been able to get it to do and it does it every time when I'm getting it to then generate. And I might have to remind it and be like, "Oh, what about the end?" And then it'll immediately come back and generate whatever I've been looking for. So but attempting to remove these things, I have been more unsuccessful.
You
So
have to
just
tell it to not mind its grammar. So the punctuation, technically the M dash is the correct punctuation there. and so it's putting it in. We just don't use it very often in our general writing. So we normally, for us, we would use a colon, and so you would tell it instead of using an M dash, use a colon.
Yeah, well, the major problem is just the AI software not reading it properly and then reading a dash, right? So that's what we've had consistently have the issues if you leave those dashes in, even though it is proper, because I know me and Mike went down the rabbit hole of proper grammar to read, went down in the investigation of this because of this. And even though it's proper, not all the AI systems are the same
Well,
as we're talking about, right? So the one would read dash and was so annoying. Anyways, that was syllabi.
yeah, and HeyGen skips over all the punctuation, says really, it's just because when you're not using your own, when you're not providing your own voice as a voiceover and you're using some AI generated voice, can the AI generated voice interpret punctuation properly or not? So we're trying to, as you play with this stuff, you're like, hey, in video works one way, syllabi's a different way, HeyGen's different. Google Gemini VO3 is a completely different beast. So just like which one can you as a human actually interact with every single day and make good content with? Or we're gonna go back to the old school of you just shooting selfie videos, your face on camera with your voice and see how that, you know. But I think it's good to have a combination of different content. So you don't know who you're scaring. I don't know who I'm scaring away with my face. So anyway,
I'm gonna start using the dogs instead.
that's what my wife is doing. She got a lot of traction with dog videos.
Okay, well, I'm penalized by YouTube because I have too much different content. And what YouTube likes is it likes you creative in only one niche. So if you have meditations, then you have card readings, then you have yoga, then you have positive inspiration with your dogs or something funny, even though they're all related to your spiritual growth and all have like a common theme, it doesn't help YouTube. YouTube doesn't know where to put your content. So you actually don't get promoted as much because they want you really creative in only one niche, which the reality is life is not one niche. So I'm fighting internally with the fact that I understand how the numbers work and how it pulls stuff, but in reality, I didn't use one technique to heal, right? So for me to heal holistically, as you would know, Jeff, it's you use a lot of different techniques. So it seems like a disservice to not cover everything, but to be seen YouTube doesn't like it because it wants to niche me in only one area. So it's interesting. So I just pretty much do whatever I want on my YouTube channel now. And I have a mixture of
We
myself in real life reading cards. Then I have a mixture of AI content because at this point, I don't care if I'm making the algorithms happy at
Well,
this point.
we all and also to be transparent with Julie's YouTube channel, she met the requirements for watch time for subscribers and watch time, but YouTube would not give her monetization status because she had a flag on her account for sharing a news article because we live in Canada and during COVID, you could not, I still don't think you're allowed to share news articles on YouTube in Canada due to government policies. So my wife, so Julie's had a flag on her YouTube account and we went through all the we had to go through and watch a bunch of education articles, which videos we had to go through what's called YouTube re-education. So she had the watch time, she had the subscribers, they would not monetize her. We had to step through a whole bunch of um, classes for them to give her monetization status. YouTube just came out last week and acknowledged that during the let's say COVID era that they shadow banned many accounts. I don't think that shadow ban is going to be lifted. So even if you've so I suggested I'm like, wouldn't it be interesting to start a new account with the same content you're already producing now and see if the algorithm picks you back up, or if it's like it's just what she's got this weird situation with her algorithm because she's been shadow banned in the past. And I've had other customers who've been shadow banned, and that's why I tell them, I'm like, hey, I want you to be making content, and I want you to be putting that same content everywhere so we can see what type of audience you are building, what type of watch time analytics we get from every single platform. But if you've been shadow banned in the past on Twitter, make a new Twitter account, or X, make a new X account. If you've been shadow banned in the past on YouTube, keep posting to that old YouTube account, but maybe take that same content and put it on a brand new one just to see how the algorithm treats you going forward into 2026, because that shadow ban, even though you've got all the restrictions lifted, you might still be penalized because you shared something that you weren't supposed to. And it's not the same as a copyright strike. And I'm just an analyst, and I'm like, hey, your video should be doing better, but maybe something you've spoken out about in the past, I got you a slap on the wrist, and that slap on the wrist is going to affect you for the rest of your life on that particular account. So I don't know. We were discussing that this week once the news came out that the Biden administration in the US was like shadow banning everybody on YouTube. But we knew that was happening. So we knew it was happening, and now the government's admitted it. So, and YouTube's admitted it. So we're like, whatever, this happens. This is why we don't rely on one social media platform. We want your content on as many social media platforms as possible, just so we can see how your content resonates on each channel out there and on each platform out there, because nothing is perfect. And we're humans. We want to get our message out and see how many different audiences we can build at the same time. But I'm going to wrap up the class. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to ask them right now before I shut the Zoom room down.
Well, thank you, everybody, and we will see you guys same time, same place next week.
Have a great week. Thank you. Thank you for showing up.
Bye.
Bye, David.